My daughter's piano teacher switched to Arabic with someone. She just gave them our home security code. I was standing in my home office when I heard Layla Mansour answer her phone during my daughter Sophia's lesson. The piano room was directly below my office, and the heating vent carried sound straight up through the floorboards. Layla had been teaching Sophia for 8 months, coming to our house every Friday at 4 o'clock. She was a conservatory graduate from Lebanon, mid-30s, with impeccable credentials and a waiting list of students. My wife Rachel had been thrilled when Layla agreed to take Sophia on, saying we were lucky to get a spot with someone so talented and professional. The phone conversation started in English, something about rescheduling another student. Then Layla switched to Arabic mid-sentence, her voice dropping slightly. I wouldn't have thought twice about it, except I'd spent 6 years working as a civilian contractor for the Defense Intelligence Agency in Iraq and Syria, doing logistics coordination for forward operating bases. I'd picked up conversational Arabic out of necessity, enough to understand what local workers were saying when they thought Americans couldn't follow. I'd never mentioned this to anyone in my current life as a software consultant in suburban Virginia. It was easier to leave that whole chapter behind after I got out. Layla's Arabic was rapid and quiet, but the acoustics of the old house carried her words clearly through the vent. She said, "I'm at the target location now. The code is 47928. Front door and garage both use the same one. He changes it on the first of every month like clockwork." My blood went cold. I stood frozen at my desk, phone in hand, trying to process what I'd just heard. Layla continued, "The father works from home Fridays. Mother works late at the hospital most nights. Best window is Saturday evening when they usually go out. The girl will be with the grandmother." I forced myself to breathe slowly and quietly, not wanting to alert anyone downstairs that I might be listening. Layla was speaking to someone about our security code, our schedules, our routines. She was gathering intelligence on my family. The casual way she referred to us as targets made my hands shake with rage and terror. She said a few more words I couldn't quite catch, then switched back to English and told Sophia to practice her scales while she took care of some administrative matters in the hallway. I heard the piano room door close. The voice on the other end had responded before she switched back to English, a male voice, also in Arabic, saying something that made my stomach drop even further. "Good. We'll have the team ready for Saturday. Make sure the grandmother's address is in the file. We need clean extraction with minimal noise. The client is paying premium for this one. Young, undamaged musical talent. She's worth twice the usual rate." I realized this wasn't about robbing our house. They were planning to take my daughter. I needed to think clearly despite the adrenaline flooding my system. If I confronted Layla now, I'd tip her off that I understood Arabic, and whoever she was working with would know their plan was compromised. If I let her leave normally, she'd assume everything was proceeding as planned, but my family would remain in immediate danger. I pulled out my phone and opened the security camera app. We'd installed cameras 6 months ago after a string of break-ins in the neighborhood, covering the front door, back door, driveway, and interior hallway near the bedrooms. I scrolled back through today's footage and found Layla arriving at 3:55 as usual. But this time, I noticed something I'd missed before. While Sophia was getting her sheet music from upstairs, Layla had walked through our first floor, glancing into rooms with what now looked like deliberate assessment rather than casual curiosity. She'd paused at the alarm panel by the front door, positioning herself at an angle where she could see the keypad clearly. I watched myself come downstairs and greet her, then punch in the code to deactivate the alarm before heading back up to my office. She'd been watching my fingers the entire time, memorizing the sequence. I scrolled back further through the archived footage, going back weeks. In every session, Layla had done something similar. Positioned herself to observe, asked questions that seemed innocent but were actually intelligence gathering. 3 weeks ago, she'd asked Sophia about her favorite stuffed animal and which window in her bedroom faced the street. 2 months ago, she'd commented on the beautiful backyard and asked if we kept the rear gate locked. Every interaction had been a reconnaissance mission, disguised as friendly conversation with a child. I thought back over the past 8 months, remembering how Layla had always been friendly and interested in our lives. She'd asked about Rachel's nursing schedule at the hospital, about Sophia's school calendar, about my work-from-home routine. At the time, it had seemed like normal small talk, the kind of personal interest that made her a good teacher who cared about her students' lives outside of lessons. Now, every question took on a sinister significance. She'd been building a dossier on us systematically, identifying the optimal time to strike. My phone buzzed with a text from Rachel, working late again, probably home by 10. "Can you handle Sophia's dinner?" I stared at the message, my mind racing. Rachel didn't know that her predictable schedule had been logged and analyzed by someone planning to kidnap our daughter. I typed back a normal response while my hands trembled. Then I heard the piano music resume downstairs, Sophia playing her scales, trusting and innocent, with a predator sitting 3 feet away from her. I needed to know more about Layla Mansour before I decided how to handle this, and that's when things took a turn I never expected. Full story is linked below or on my channel.